Hello, fellow Americans, and hello, fellow Virginians, and especially hello to Kamala Harris. The reason why I'm directing this message at Kamala Harris and then I'm going to direct it at Virginians to let them know I got this when it comes down to natural disasters. And I'm going to make sure the right thing is done from the first second to the last second. Not like Kamala Harris showing up in 7 days, while the real patriots, the real men and women that love God, family, and country came to your aid regardless of your background, regardless of your ethnicity. They was there not because of politics, they was there to save lives. That's because above all else, it's bigger than them. It's bigger than whether you agree about everything. Time will tell on how a story ends, but what we can do is hope that we don't have to end your story short. And that should be every single leader's priority. Governor of Florida is dealing with the worst of the worst hurricane coming at him in his entire life. And worrying about whether the vice president of the United States of America gets a call and he answers is very irrelevant. I have seen Kamala Harris spend more time at fundraisers and campaigning than she has in the areas that have been affected by the hurricanes that has hit. And it has hit in ways never imaginable. Kamala Harris can't understand that story. That's why they spin it the way it is. But I'm going to tell Virginians, I'm not going to lie to the media, and I'm going to damn sure find out FEMA is up to some nonsense, and I'm going to damn sure make sure anybody obstructing anybody in this state from saving lives, they are the ones getting arrested, not the ones who are doing the work. I've been proud of all the work I have seen from leaders that have stayed in the battlefield compared to those who have flown off and have forgotten about it and only remembered when it has been politically convenient. Leaders like Mark Robinson, who has been there from day one, not out just having fun, lollygagging, and doing whatever, but making sure people matter more than politics. That's symbolic. Glenn Youngkin, he's out in the areas that have been hit the most. You don't hardly see him on TV because he's spending his time consoling families that have lost everything. Some have lost loved ones, some have lost friends, some have lost neighbors. And when that area is rebuilt, every day those survivors have to remember all the people who they no longer see again. Those who they went to school with, those who they constantly had dinners with, the friendships, the bonds. You can't replace that. You only have a chance to live it in that moment. And I was looking to see who was going to lead in that moment where it mattered the most. So far, what I have seen is the worst in journalism, the worst in those who lack care. They spend more time worrying about what's going on at a rally compared to a baby clinging to their life with their mama, getting ready to be swept by the floodwaters. Many don't even know help wasn't even coming, even though the expectation, what they have known about America, we come immediately. We don't delay. That's the sign of lazy leadership that has continued to affect most of America, and that's why we in the problem or have the problems that we have now. Listen, Cameron, it's not about you no matter how much the media tries to make it appear to be. People are listening to me more and more and listening to others more and more because they can't understand you. And some can't even understand the leaders of today. I wouldn't have been spending my time campaigning. I told people to suspend their campaign. I'm telling them, now I'm talking to Virginians because Kamala, I kind of could ignore you at this point. I'm going to make sure the National Guard is there at least 48 hours before any storm hit. And they're going to be actively working with the private sector and doing training with the private sector to make sure when disasters like this hit, we can begin the process of fixing, healing, and saving lives immediately. It's inexcusable what happened out there in North Carolina, where a lieutenant governor had to coordinate and take all these calls. I saw that 3 o'clock in the morning face. I saw how hard all of those who have been working around him and still be humble enough to thank everybody but himself, because he still was saying the job is not done, but he knew that others needed motivation because what they have seen is the worst. Kamala hasn't seen the dead bodies. Kamala hasn't seen the wreckage and the havoc that goes behind her ego. The thing is, you have. And we should investigate and make sure this doesn't happen again. We will seek the truth. We will seek justice. We will make sure that no matter who you are and how this happened, you deserve answers. Your families deserve answers. I'm going to do my best like I have done before in the past. I give answers. I don't give what I want the result to be. A lie doesn't make me feel better, but the truth definitely makes me feel free. And I'm okay with that. But the problem is these politicians are not. They could care less and lack any empathy as much as they tell you and teach you their definition of it. And you wondering why the world or America is copying and mimicking those who don't care and practicing it. Guess what? You're going to practice and be a seed rooted for many more to follow, unless others step up. And that's what I wanted to have happen. I'm going to make sure when this happens, we take care of our own. I'm going to make sure on day one, the position of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and I will make sure the Attorney General is instructed to cease and desist any funding that goes to non-citizens. Our citizens need that the most and need it now. And I will work with other states continuously to help them rebuild, because when we help each other, I know I could depend on them too, and I know who I can depend on when it matters the most, and they know they can depend on Virginia, because Virginia has always been dependable. It has always been there for America, and that's not going to change. All it's going to do, we're going to embrace it, and we are going to take hold of these moments, even though they may be tragic, to make sure our future generations know the definition of what it means to be American, what it means to want to save life, and what the risk comes with it, but also what the measure of sacrifice comes. Our last measure of devotion. And a lot of people had that. The people who died in those hurricanes, in that hurricane, they are our heroes. They are our conscience to say, if you can do that to them, you're going to do it to us. We won't accept that. We won't acknowledge or deposit that philosophy. But what you saw, people going out there trying to save lives, trying to get food to those who were hungry, try to get shelter to those who lost their homes, and showing the care where those who lack it have shown it and rebuilt themselves. It's not about how rich you are that makes you a leader. It's about who you are and what your character represents and what it is trying to accomplish. And I hope it's trying to accomplish being better than what you was before, because you don't need these politicians to make you worse, regardless of your political party. That's why I will be your governor. Merle Rutledge for Virginia Governor 20.